Good day and welcome to New Dynasty Academy. Today we will be doing mathematics for grade 8. We are preparing for our final examination. For that purpose, we will be using Gauteng Department of Education 2018 November final paper. So yeah, let us dive right in. Section A, question 1, and the instructions say circle the letter of the correct answer from the four possible answers. Then the first question says find the HCF of 18, 30, and 48. HCF stands for the highest common factor, but we do have a problem where learners fail to list the factors of a number of numbers, and sometimes learners confuse how to get the LCM and how to get the HCF. But now here we're doing the highest common factor, so let us go on and do the highest common factor. There are two methods that we use to find the highest common factor. So I'm going to do, let me do both of them. The first one is that you can list the factors of each number that is given. So we're going to say the factors of 18, then we list them here. In a list, 1 is always the factor. 2 goes into 18 and it goes 9 times, so 2 is going to be a factor also. 3 is also a factor of 18. You can just divide these numbers by 18 and see if they divide completely and they give you whole numbers as the answers. So 6 also goes into 18 3 times. We know that 9 goes into 18 2 times, and then 18 is also a factor. So how I quickly do that, you can just say 18 divided by 2 you get 9, 18 divided by 3 you get 6, and so on. So that's how you can simply do that. Then let us further calculate the factors of 30. 1 is always a factor. 2 goes into 30 15 times, then 2 is a factor. 3 goes into 30 10 times, so that is a factor. And we've got what? 5 goes into 36 times, so 5 is a factor, which means also 6 is also a factor here. And 10 is also a factor. 15 is also a factor because it goes 3 times into, twice into 30. Then we've got what? 30 as the factor because 30 divided by 1 is 30 anyway. Then quickly calculate the factors of 48. Let me just quickly list them here. So that is 1 2, we're going to have 4, we're going to have 6 8 12. Someone would say just stop right there, I've already found the factor. Now let me continue. 24 and 48. So this is how you list the factors of the number. So you check in all this list which number, what is the highest number that appears in all of those factors. So you can see we've got 1 2 3, we've got 1 2 3, we've got 4 5, and we've got now 6 here. It appears more than once. We've got 6 here, which is the highest one. As you can see, we have 6 there, we've got a 6 there, and also we've got a 6 there. So that is the highest one. So our highest common factor in this case is going to be 6, and our correct answer is going to be C. So the instruction was that we should circle the correct answer. So the correct answer is going to be C in this case. Question 1.2. Here we are adding fractions, and for us to be able to add fractions, you must first find the what do you call the lowest common multiple, the lowest common denominator. I mean to say. So the lowest common denominator of 4, 6, and 8. Also here, learners tend to have a problem of listing the lowest common multiple. So in this case, learners, you can just list the multiples of 6, 8, and 1 and 4. So let us write it just right here. We're going to say the multiples of 6. Now the multiples, how do you get the multiples? The multiples, you multiply this number, which is the natural number, by other natural numbers starting with 1. So 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12, 6 times 3 is 18, and then 6 times 4 is 24. Let me list only these ones, and then the multiples of 8. I'm going to have 8 times 1, which is 8, 8 times 2, which is 16, 8 times 3 is 24. I already see a 24 there. Let me stop right here, but let's continue with the multiples of 4. Multiples of 4, we've got 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, and then we've got 12, we've got 16, we have 20, and 24. And that's where we could stop, because we've got 24 in each one of them. So what we can do here, we can just circle our answers. This is 24, 24, and 24. Now this is how you get the LCD, the lowest common denominator. So furthermore, you need to calculate here using the LCD. So what you do is that you put your LCD in your denominator. I know that teachers have taught you this method very well. You put the denominator here as your LCD here, which is 24. Then you go to the first number, which is 6. You say how many times does 6 goes into 24? That is, divide 24 by 6. So 24, 6 goes into 24 how many times? It goes 4 times. So you multiply that by the numerator, which is 3, then you get what? You get 12. I hope you understand that. Let's do the next one. There's a plus sign, then you put a plus sign. After 3, there's a plus sign. So you say 8, how many times that 8 goes into 24? It goes 3 times, then you multiply it by the numerator of 8, which is 2, and then that is 2 times 3, which is 6. And again, you say 4, how many times does 4 goes into 24? It goes 6 times, and you multiply by the numerator of 4, which is 1, and that is going to be 6 also. Then you add your numerators, that is 6 plus 6 plus 12, that is going to be 24, and that is 24 over 24, and the answer is 1. So our correct option here is going to be option D for 2, number 1.2. The option is D. Now moving on to 1.3. Here you're going to subtract 4,8 subtract 2,042. So how we do this grade 8? Okay, I don't have enough space, but I'm going to answer it here. I haven't been writing numbers, but I'm start here writing 1.3. The answer is 1.3. This is 1.2, and this is where we're doing our 1.1. Anyway, 1.1. So in 1.3, you first subtract the numbers before the decimal point. That is 4 minus 2, then you get 2. So that is the first one, then you put a comma. Then the next one, how do you subtract the next one? This is how I do it. Because I've got 8 and nothing else after a comma, I'm going to put it 8 there, and then go to the next number that I'm subtracting, which is 2,042, and count how many numbers are there after a decimal point. So I've got 3 numbers after a decimal point, which is 0, 4, and 2. So I'm going to put zeros here so that I have 3 numbers, because I've got 3 numbers after the number that I'm subtracting. So I'm going to put 3 numbers there, and I'm going to put a subtraction sign, and I subtract those numbers after decimal point. For the second term, which is 0, 2,04, so I'm going to have 0, 4, 2. These are the numbers after decimal point. Now I need to subtract these numbers. So the first one, you subtract from the left hand side, then you go to your right hand side. So here I've got 0 subtract 2, which is not possible. And what I'm going to do here, because the next number is also 0, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to borrow from the 8. I'm going to borrow from the 8. So I'm going to borrow 8, 1, which is, I put it there. Basically, let's subtract, I borrowed 100 or 10, as some teachers teach you, but I'll just put 1 there. And but remember, I need to have the 1 here. So I'm going to put the 1 here on the first 0, and then borrow it again from the first 0. So remember now, if I have 1 and 0, you can take it as 10. So that is 10. So if I borrow 1 again, I'm going to be left with 9. But here I'm going to have 10. So 10 minus 2, that is going to give me 8. And now here I've got 9. 9 minus 4 is going to give me 5. And remember, I borrowed 1 from 8, then I've got 7. So that is going to be 7. So in this case, that is going to be the number after a decimal point, which is 758. I hope you do understand that. If you don't understand this for the first time, rewatch the video, watch it again and again and again until you get there. And don't forget that if you've got a problem, at the end of every video, we always put our contact details where you can contact us so that we can help you. Now, the correct answer here is going to be what? Let's look at the options. We've got option A, option B, and option. The right answer is going to be option D in this case. I hope you are following grade 8. I hope you are following. So that is our right answer there. Now moving on to the next question. Question 4. Here we've got the square root of 49 multiplied by 121. So learners tend to use a calculator on every questions like this that they use. Like the previous one, learners would use a calculator. It's okay, you can use a calculator. But I believe that for you to be a genius in mathematics, you must be able to do these questions without using a calculator. I know sometimes it's going to waste time for you, especially in examinations, but you need to know how to do these calculations without using a calculator. That is mathematics. Now, in this case, how are we going to answer this question? 1.4. Okay, but I'm going to do it slightly here next to the question here. The square root of 49 is 7. And inside the square root, we have got multiplication sign. So that is 49 multiplied by 121. And the square root of 121 is 11. So that is 7 minus 7 multiplied by 11. So 7 multiplied by 11, 1 times 1 is 7, and 1 times 1 is 7. So our answer for 1.4 is going to be 77. So when you look at the options there, our correct option is option B. So we're going to go on and circle option B. I hope you do understand that. Grade 8. This is not really that difficult. Now moving on to question 1.5. It says if the temperature is at negative 7 degrees Celsius and then it rises to 15 degrees Celsius, what will the temperature be? So it starts at negative 7, then it rises by 15 degrees. So that is 1.5. So you start with negative 7. Rising means that you're adding something because it's rising by 15, and negative 7 plus 15, it gives us 8. So our answer is 8. So that is going to be what? Option C there. And that's how you simply do that. Question 1.6. If 3/4 of the number is 4,500,000 people in the city are between the ages of 15 and 40, how many people is this? Okay, now it's fractions. It's a fraction. Remember, it's 3 over 4 off, and off in this case it means multiply. So what you're going to do, you can just multiply. Use a calculator. You're going to say your 3 over 4. Take out your calculator. You say 3 over 4. I'm doing it quickly in my calculator here. 3 over 4. Then you multiply that by that big number, 4,500,000. 4,500,000. It gave me 3,375,000. 3,375,000. I see that is option A. It is option A in this case. Option A is going to be our correct answer for 1.6. Yes, and that's how this how easily you should do your mathematics. 8. Yes. 1.7 says the number of terms in the expression 2 into x plus y plus xy minus 39 is. Now you need to remember that terms are only separated by a plus and a minus sign. So when you count how many terms are there, you should be able to count terms in between the negative, either the negative or the positive sign. So in this case, we've got 2 into x plus y plus xy minus 39. So what happens is that we do have a bracket. Bracket makes terms to be only one term. So x plus y inside the bracket is one term. Because as I said that terms are separated by signs. But the signs that are separating terms should be outside of the bracket. Whether it's a positive or negative sign, it should be outside of the bracket. So in this case, we've got x plus y inside the bracket. So the sign is inside the bracket, and that makes that to be only one term. And these two, because brackets means multiply, these two is multiplied to the x plus y, and that also makes it to be only one term. So it means the whole of 2 into x plus y here is one term. And we've got the plus sign which is separating them, which means we've got the second term. Then we've got the negative sign which is separating them. We've got what? 39 which is separated from x minus y, and that is going to be the third term. So it basically means we've got 3 terms in this case, and our correct answer, our correct option basically is going to be what? Option D, and that's how you do that. Then the next question, what equation best expresses the statement the sum of the squares of t and p is 25? Now grade 8, it says the sum. So it says the sum, then it means there must be what? Addition. So there must be addition of the squares. Squares, remember, is that little number that you put on top of a term, on top of a number. So it must be the square of t and the square of p, and those are the two numbers that you add. So it must be t squared, because it says the squares, t squared and p squared added together. So that is going to be t squared plus p squared, and the sum of those equals 25. So when you look at these options here, option A is 2t, 2p, so you're talking about the squares. So that is not going to be the first option. This one has got the square roots. This one, it's the square of TP, but they added together inside the brackets equals 25. And the statement says the sum of the squares of T and P. So it should be the squares of both of them. In this case, for C, it's T plus P, which is 1 term squared. But the statement says T and P, the sum of the squares of T and P. So when you go to option D here, we've got T squared plus P squared equals 25. So you can see that when you read of the statement there, it says the sum of the squares of T and P. So you can see that you've got T squared and P squared equals to 25. So which makes option D to be our option, our correct answer in this case. I hope you do understand that. So you must be able to read and understand the statement so that you choose the correct option. Don't just read and just choose. You must read and make sure that you understand so that you can choose the correct option, because one would have went for option C. As you can see, that is closely related to option B. And yeah, our option D here, it is also closely related to one of the theorems that we use, that is the Pythagoras theorem. Now moving on to question 1.9, it says in triangle ABC below, x equals what? So let us look at what is inside the triangle here. We've got triangle ABC, and we're given the angles 52, 44, and 3x minus 50. So how do we know what is the value of x? Now you must remember that there's a property of triangles which says the sum of the angles where triangles are supplementary, and supplementary means that they add up to 180 degrees. So in this case, that is the property that we should be able to use to calculate the value of the interior angles of the triangle. So in this case, we don't know exactly what is the measure of angle B here, because it's given as 3x minus 50, but we know what is A is 52, we know what is C is 44. So let us go on and calculate the exact value of angle B by calculating what is the value of x. So that is what we are required to do. So in this case, as I said, we're going to use the property which says that we're going to write everything here. The property says if you take all the angles, that is angle A, you add that to angle B, then angle C, then these are supplementary. You must know that very well. And these are angles. Then if you were calculating this, solving here, you're supposed to be given the reason, and your reason is what? Sum of angles in a triangle. These are right angles. Some say of or in. It makes no difference. In A, you may not write the full word triangle, but you can use the symbols there. So let us go on and substitute. What is A? A is 52 degrees plus B, which is 3x minus 15 degrees, plus C, which is 44. And that equals 180 degrees. We are solving for x. So what you can do is that you can group all the variables on one side, in terms of variables on one side, or however you are taught. I know the teachers have taught you how to do this very, very well. So some of you will choose to add all these numbers on the left hand side before you go to your right hand side. You can still do that. You are allowed to do that. So however you are taught to do this question, please go on and do it how you were taught. and then it's not going to make any difference as long as what you were taught is the correct method that we are using. So some of us, we can just add all these numbers on the left hand side. That is going to be we can have our 3x, which is the term on its own, is not like other terms. Then 52 minus 15, and then you add 44. When you add that quickly, you get 81. So that is going to be 81 equals to 180. Some of us will just make one step here. So the next step is to remove the 81. You can subtract 81 on both sides, or you can transpose 81. That is going to be 180. Subtract 81 degrees, and you are going to have your 3x equals to, that is going to give you how much? 180 minus that is 99. And you divide both sides by 3 because you need to remove this 3, which is multiplied, and the inverse of multiplication is division, and whatever that you do on the left hand side, you come back and do it on the right hand side. Therefore your x is going to be equals to 3 into 9 goes 3 times, 3 into 9 goes 3 times, so x is equals to 33 degrees. Then our correct option here, grade 8, that is option D. Option D. So I hope you do understand that. Now the next question, question 1.10, says 6 counters in the bag are numbered 3, 4, 7, 9, 10, and 11. And then one counter is drawn at random from the bag. The probability that the number drawn is a prime number is. So now you should be able to remember the difference between a prime number and a composite number, because what we are given here, we're given prime numbers and composite numbers. And you should also remember how to differentiate between the even numbers and odd numbers. But now we're talking about prime numbers in this case, so you should know what is a prime number. If I can ask what is a prime number, or what are prime numbers? Prime numbers are numbers that are only divisible by 1 in themselves. So the number that is a prime number, it is divisible by 1 in itself. So let us quickly look at this. We've got 3. 3 is a prime number, so we can just highlight the prime numbers. 3 is a prime number. 4 is not a prime number because you can divide 4 by itself, and 1 you can also divide by 2. So 4 is not a prime number. 7 is a prime number. 9 is not, because 3 is also divisible there. 10, there's 2 that is divisible, there's 5 that is divisible, then there is 11 that is a prime number. Another way of differentiating between a prime and a composite number is that you can just take the number, divide it by 2. If 2 goes into that number, then it means that number is not a prime number. It has to be a composite number. So you can just quickly do that. So we have 3 prime numbers in this case. And remember, the probability is that the number of favorable outcomes in divided by the total numbers. So how many numbers do we have in total? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers in total. And how many prime numbers do we have? We have how many prime numbers? We've got 3 prime numbers. So we're going to have 3 prime numbers divided by the total of those numbers, which is 6. And you can go on and simplify that. 3 into itself goes once, into 6 it goes how many times? It goes twice. So the simplified version of 3 over 6 is basically 1 over 2. That is 2 there. 1 over 2. So which means our option in this case is option B. And that's how you simply do that.
Unlock your academic potential with expert tutoring from New Dynasty Academy. Are you looking to excel in your studies and achieve top grades? Whether you're struggling to grasp complex concepts or aiming to stay ahead of the curve, our expert tutoring services are here to help you succeed. We specialize in a wide range of subjects. Do not wait. Contact us today to start your towards success.